Hello, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and continue modeling this lizard character that I have. We last left off, we're writing out this tail here. And I want to go ahead and round out and try to get some of this form in the main part of the body here. Try to get it, it aligning with the rest of the, the reference here. So again, when you're hovering over your character model, when you press your right click button on your pen or your mouse, you pull up this, these settings here. And if you remember from last time, the face controls the faces, the vertex controls the vertices, and the edge controls the edges of your model. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and select my edge. And I'm just gonna start to select the areas that look kind of flat, that kind of create this, harder edge on my character. And depending on how your character is, like my character here, I'm just gonna simply, actually I don't want to select all that, but I'm just gonna select this. I'm going to simply just move it in to help get that more rounding shape of our character. It looks a little bit better and not as flat. So I'm definitely just going to take some time to continue to do that. While I'm doing that as well, I'm shifting back to my front view, for example, and just seeing how this looks to the rest of the body here. So obviously it's a little too much here. We can go back to our view, see where that might be too much, right here. Probably select this edge here, something like that. So it's gonna be a lot of just time-consuming trial and error to see what best fits your character's silhouette when you're first building it out. That's the great thing about these simple tools of the face or edge or vertex of your model. You can slowly just start to push in and push out with a really easy control of your character, and you can start to see, there's more of an interesting shape that's getting built up in the chest of this lizard character. And that's generally the approach when it comes to using these references and creating that character. So again, right click, you're gonna definitely see me move this around. Up is for your edge, down face, and straight to your left is vertex. So again, I'm just gonna slowly just take my time, just trying to, get this rounded, see what feels right, maybe push it in a little bit more. Then again, making sure we're looking back at our reference and making sure we're keeping true to our silhouette. And again, you can start to see that we're starting to get this more rounded now. Take some time on the snout area here. So we're starting to slowly get there, which is great. So yeah, you can definitely spend quite a bit of time, but you don't want to take too much time because we're still in the blocking phase, and we can still take this model to another software such as Blender or ZBrush. Later on, I'll show you how to take this into Blender. That way we can, better detail this character and actually sculpt in some detail like these scales here you see on your left. But for now, we're just building the base of your model. So once, I think this is okay for now. I'll probably just round it up a little bit more here just for now. That way it just looks a little bit better. So, looking pretty good. Again, always use your reference to make sure that things are aligning perfectly. You can definitely add these spikes later, but I'm just showing, just building out using your edge, face, or vertex of your model to keep on forming it. So again, Control Save. It's always important to control and save. So the next thing I want to talk about in the extruding part is creating some eyes on this character or your character, for example. I know I briefly showed it last time where we select a face and you go to edit mesh and extrude, and it extruded the face, and you can pull it out, and you can start building your limb here and continue to extrude, and you're starting to build your limb, right? So we're gonna use that same concept for your character's eyes as well. So we're gonna go ahead and remember the 1 key takes you out of that smooth preview, and your number 3 key takes you back to that smooth preview. So we're looking at our character reference here. The eyes typically near edge right here. And again, if you have any trouble seeing through your reference from your model, you can always switch between the wireframe of the model so you can start to see where it is specifically. So before we do that, in this example, I'm going to go ahead and go to the face of our character. And depending on where your character's head is or the eyes are, for mine it's going to be right here. I'm going to select it. Again, shift, hover over to your other screen and spacebar. And spacebar again to switch to your other window when you're hovering over it. I'm just looking, I got these faces selected again. And we're going to go ahead and now switch this to the wireframe. And you can see our face is still selected. So the easiest way to do this is go to edit mesh and extrude again. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And it's creating this circular shape here. Go ahead and show you here. So, which is cool now is that we can go ahead and start to resize this however you want, and this will be essentially the outside of our eye, like our eyelid area. And again, we can go ahead and go back to our reference. We can increase the size or decrease it, and this is with the scaling tool. Remember, we still got these tools that you can select. Again, the hotkeys for these tools, like the scaling, is R, E for rotate, W for move, and Q just for the selection tool. You don't have to do those hotkeys. They're always here on the side of your window. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my move tool from over here. And I'm going to go ahead and start to move the face of where this eye is going to be to my reference here. So from move, I'm going to go ahead and go to the scaling tool and start to get that shape going. And again, you can always toggle between your references and or your views, and see how it starts to affect the shape of your character. So you can see from my front reference, these eyes kind of go in to this model a bit more instead of just out here. They start to go in a little bit more. And we can go ahead and check this again by going to your front view. And you can see your reference here. And again, we can switch the shading mode of your model to the wireframe. And now we can see where my eyes look in the front view. So I can go ahead and move this even more inside. We can go ahead and take it off, see how it looks. And we can start to see how it's starting to, we're just moving you know, some geometry, and we're kind of somewhat sculpting this character a little bit. Starting to get that cool serpent look of the head. Okay, so when it comes to like modeling a character, you don't want to keep all those vertices all meshed up together as you saw earlier. So I took some time just to, you know, move them out so this has this cleaner shape that's easier to read as well. Yeah, it's not completely matching the shape that we want here. So what we might have to do is actually extrude this face here where this eye is. That way we can start to build out this section better. So again, I have this face selected here. We're gonna go to edit mesh and extrude, or I can hit Control E to extrude. So I'm just taking the time to rotate, scale areas, and now you can start to see that the shape is starting to get built a little bit better for that eye. I wouldn't worry too much about how it looks here in your not smooth model when you press the 1 key. When we go ahead and smooth the model itself to add more geometry, we will get it to look like, you know, a little bit smoother and to our form. So I wouldn't stress it too much. I think it's fun first time modeling a character to sometimes have limited geometry like this and kind of modeling with the smooth preview on. You get to start building some cool shapes here. So we're gonna go ahead for this eye and just push this in a little bit more. Actually, no, this is, let's see. We don't want to push it in too much. We gotta make sure everything's aligning here with the eye. It looks good from there. So the thing about building eyes that I also want to note as well is that you want to have this circular loop around the eye. It helps when creating the model and adding geometry that it keeps this form. And you'll see throughout me building this character that like the limbs or the eyes or anything that is pulling, like coming out of the model, you definitely want those circular geometry flow, the edge flow is what we call it. The edge flow to be around certain sections like the eye. And this is mostly done when it comes to rigging and animating. It helps when the model starts to move and starts to stretch its shape and stuff. It keeps the form better maintained. And you'll see this all over actual professional models for movie and film, that they have these edge loops done intentionally. So if you're wondering why the eye edge flow like this is a circular motion, is for that reason. So you can start to see here on our character that, you know, it's starting to get that cool eye shape, and we're starting to actually get this character here pretty accurate with the eye size and shape and placement of the model, which is pretty cool. And I hope, you know, you all achieve this. This is really fun to do. So for this eye, definitely want to have that eye cavity so we can actually put that eye in there. So again, we're going to go ahead and select the middle part of this eye here. Go to edit mesh, extrude, and actually we're just going to go ahead and move it in. That way we can give it enough space for our eyeball that we will add right now in a little in a moment. Alrighty, so now that we have our eye cavity, we can go ahead and actually start adding the eyeball for this character. So we'll go ahead and go to our model or poly modeling tab here, and we'll go ahead and find the sphere here. We're just going to simply click it to create it. Now that it popped up in the middle here, we can actually go ahead and have it selected, go to your move tool, and start to move it towards your character's eye area. So we'll go ahead and go to our scale tool, your R key, or on the side here, select this square. And I'm going to go ahead and select this middle square because it's the uniform scale. It's going to be scale it from all angles here, so it's pretty exact. And I'm going to go ahead and move it towards this eye here. Again, we can go ahead and space bar, go to your angles, see where it's going. So roughly like right there for this character. May not look 100% perfect, but it's okay because we're still going to edit the eyelid of this character. Now with our rotate tool over here, or hotkey E, we're going to go ahead and start to rotate this eye a little bit. And we want, I guess, the center of this sphere, where all these edges are coming out of, to be essentially where your character's eye pupil will be. It's just easier for when it comes to modeling your character to know where that is. Sometimes I like to, when it comes to texturing or modeling, to have this area be facing out here like this. So we got our eyeball right here, and now you're probably saying, hey, we need our other eyeball. So we want to make sure we have our eyeball on this side because it's it's missing right now. So you want to go to select your sphere. I'm going to go to edit, and we're just going to go ahead and duplicate it. So now we have another one. And we want to make sure we have our channel box selected over here so we can see our values. So I'm going to go ahead and up here where we see these three tools here. This one's the center pivot, this one is the delete in history, and this one is the freeze transformations. So what this one does is actually zeroes out all these values here. That way we can actually start to move the eyeball properly for what we need. So I want to go ahead and click on that. Zeroes out everything, gives it a clean slate. So I want to bring up the move tool here. Then what I'm going to be doing is actually moving the pivot of the eye here. That way it'll be easier for me to flip it to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to my front view here. We're going to go ahead and go to turning on our grid again. That way we can see the center of the world space here. So while having our character eye selected that has the move tool shown, we want to press the D key, and we want to hold that. We want to hold the D key. Next, we want, as we're still holding the D key, we want to now hold the X key. And you can see that it's changing our move tool here when you hold the D key. And get the circle over here. What this does is now we're controlling the pivot. We're now going to move the pivot of this eyeball. And while holding the D key to move the pivot, we're now also holding the X key. And what this does is snaps our pivot into place depending on where our grid is here. It's snapping to the grid. So what I just did right now is hold D, then X at the same time, and we can actually move our pivot and it'll be snapping to our grid here. So I'm snapping to the middle like this, and then you can just let go. The next thing we want to go ahead and do is to our channel box here where we zeroed out. We're gonna now actually go to our scale here. So what we're gonna do is go from 1 to -1, and we're gonna do this for the scale X, scale Y, and the scale Z. Apologies, it just needed to be only for the scale X because we're just scaling it so that way it moves to this side here. And if you want to see that the sphere is still kept its shape, you can go ahead and select your model and press your H key to hide it, and now we can see the eyes here, still in perfect shape. And they're facing the opposite direction here, which is great. Now to bring back our model on our outliner here, whatever your model is called, you should probably name it. I'm gonna name it now before I forget. Let's type in lizard here. So you can tell things are hidden when the actual object here is not white, the white text. It's like this gray text. So go ahead and select it, press the H key again, and it will bring back your model. Okay, so we got our eyes here. You can see that our model is kind of overlapping on this eyelid, and we kind of don't like that. Doesn't look proper. So we're gonna go ahead and start to move the eyelid a little bit so it looks like the eyeball is properly in our character's face here. So I want to go ahead and select, for example, this face here of the eyelid and just move it out. That way it looks like the eyeball is actually inside, like this. So that's looking good. Again, we can still edit this a little bit more. Select the face here. Might be better if you switch between your vertexes. At a certain point, you might not be able to edit this properly. And whenever we actually start to add more geometry at some point, it might be easier to model this eye a little bit more. But for now, we'll go ahead and just leave it like this. That way we can go ahead and continue on to the rest of the model. So I see right here, I want to go ahead and just edit the shape a little bit more, just to have that nice snap going. So yeah, this is a quick example of how to use some of these tools like your edge, face, and vertex to help shape this character some more. Get some more rounded shapes going, and how we use the extrude tool to actually start getting your eye built.